Hello, all you beautiful people out there. Hello, 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 hello. I'm here today live on Facebook to share with you my life story, chapter 2, Life in Ghana. And so I'm just going to wait a couple of minutes to see those of you who will join me live today. You know what? I am so excited. Hello, Hannah. Thank you for joining me this afternoon. Thank you. How's the little one? How is she? She is so adorable. Hi there. Yep. Hello, Gifty. Thank you for joining me. Sorry, Gift. Thank you for joining me this afternoon. My name is Anastasia MacDonald, and I am live here today on Facebook to share with you my life story, Chapter 2, Life in Ghana. Hello there. I see more of you coming on board. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedules on a Saturday because I know how our Saturdays can be. So, we've got the cleaning, we've got the ironing, we've got the cooking, we've got many other stuff that we need to do. So like the shopping, and if you're a student, you've got assignments to do. So thank you so much for joining me live this afternoon. And as I said before, hi, Machu. Thank you for joining me. Hi, Elizabeth, Queen Elizabeth. Hello there. Hello. Thank you for joining me this afternoon. Hello, Paul. Hi there. Wow. Hello, darling. How busy? Hello. Thank you. Yes, I am a brave woman through Christ Jesus. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you, ladies. Welcome, welcome, welcome this afternoon. So I'm live today here on Facebook to share with you my life story, chapter 2. And I hope you've got your safety belts on because, like I said before, the journey is going to get rocky. But before I start or before we continue the journey, what I want to do is, first of all, to thank you so much, for those of you who joined me last week when I started my life story, chapter 1. And I'll just do a quick recap in that basically my parents, they originally come from Ghana. They moved to the UK in the early 60s with the purpose of my dad with the purpose of my dad furthering his study, to better, I guess, their life, their marital life. And so they came in the early 60s when life was really, really difficult. There was a lot of social prejudice and racial discrimination at the time. So life was not, it wasn't easy. It was really difficult for the Black people. It wasn't like today where we have a lot more things going on for Black people. Anyway, to cut a long story short, mom fell pregnant, and then, hi, Franklin. And so what happened that mom fell pregnant, and then mom and dad decided, we can't handle this pregnancy at this time. We're going to have to get rid of the pregnancy. So they had a small Ghanaian community at the time, sought help and found a doctor who was willing to do it. So dad paid the doctor and the abortion was done. The matter was settled. Hello, Emiola, hi. So it was settled. They went home thinking that, okay, life continues. Only not too long afterwards that mom was still pregnant. The hand of the Lord miraculously stayed me, and here I was. Anyway, so when they both found out that mom was still pregnant, God, my dad being a Catholic, went to God and said, God, you know what? If you have allowed this child to live, I am going to name her, in my African name, I'm going to name her Enyasem. God, if you're allowed to live, then God, she is your responsibility. From today, you're going to have to be the one to look after her. And I like what Eucharia said last week. She said, God, over to you. Over to you now. You're going to have to look after her. You're going to have to take her, whatever concern I have. Hi, Sandra. Thank you for coming over. Hi, Dorothy Dora. Thank you for joining me live today this afternoon for my life story, chapter 2, guys. Yeah, so that's what happened. Anyway, to cut long story short, I ended up with various white nannies that couldn't look after me. Then ended up finally in a foster home with a white foster mother. I need to slow down. I ended up with a white foster mother. Hi, um, and with other Black Nigerian children in the home where there was abuse that carried on. My parents separated. My mom returned to Ghana, and after a while, my dad, when he looked at the situation, he, in a nutshell, sent us back to Ghana. So I'm not going to go there. I will repost the video for those of you who want to watch. So after this broadcast, I will repost the video to help you with the story. But what I do want to do, say right now, is that if you've got any questions, put them in the comment section below and I will get back to you after the broadcast. That's the first thing. The second thing is I want to ask you to kindly share the button. Hit the share button, which is on the left side of your screen. Yes, hit the share button, because you never know how this can help somebody. I know. Hello, Paul there. Paul, good news. Thank you so much for joining me live today. Thank you. Yes, so please hit that share button. You never know how my story can help somebody. And, I've been in that situation where that right word has come, that text, that email has come at the right time, and has made a world of difference to me. So please share the story. And also want to say that I'm not just sharing this story because, I've got nothing to do. I have come to understanding that God allows us to go through certain events in our life for the purpose of humanity. God sends us into this world for a specific purpose. So he allows us to go through specific tribulations, difficulties, trials, and all sorts for a specific reason. So we all have a special story. We all have a unique story. I need you. You need me. Nobody has a perfect life. None of us has a perfect life. We've all gone through stuff. So please hit the share button. Okay? And now, lastly, is for me to reiterate that my life is made up of 3 main chapters. The chapter 1 is how I miraculously entered planet Earth, and in the UK that was from 0. Hi Shigo, hi. So from 0 to 9 years, that's chapter 1 of my life, which I started last week. The chapter 2 of my life is, which I'm going to share with you, is from 9 to 27 years, life in Ghana. And then chapter 3 is regarding events for 27 to 53. So I am 53 years young girl. Yeah, love you too, Shigo. Anyway, so the journey is about to begin. Seriously, guys, the journey is about to begin. Please put your safety belts on because it may get rocky. Now, I am going to be referring to my notes because obviously I've had 18 years in Ghana, and obviously I can't remember everything. So I've got my notebook here, guys. If you don't know whether you can see, it's all kind of amount of notes here to help me. Thank you, Chigo. And so yes, let's start now. First of all, so we are in the 9 to 27 years. Now, in Ghana. So we're now in Ghana. We've left the UK. We boarded London Daniel. We've arrived at the airport. I've met my mom. My mom, the look on my mom's face is not one of joy. Obviously, there are a lot of things going through her mind. How is she going to care for 3 children? How are they going to cope in a new place? Blah, 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 blah. And like I said before, I do not hold any grudge against my mom. For all the things that happened that, I ended up in a foster home, I really don't care. I only know I don't know much. I know some, and I really don't care because I believe that God has given me the grace, to cope. But I did, and myself, we have gone through a lot. Hi, Tina. Hi, thank you for joining me this afternoon. We're sharing my life story, chapter 2, life in Ghana. So now we're in Ghana. Now, something very important. My life now is concentrated on 5 geographical locations. So my life is now becomes 5 geographical locations called home, which to me was never home. So I lived in 5 different geographical locations over the span of 18 years in Ghana. The first one is called Mamprobi. I was going to do some cue cards to show you, but my husband's ink ran out and I couldn't do it. So the first place I lived is a place called Mamprobi. Hi Dee, hi Dee Dee. Thank you for joining. So the first place called Mamprobi. The second place is a place called Bubuashi. The third place is Salt Pond. Now, Salt Pond, I'll make you understand later. Salt Pond really is related to the first and the second, which is the Mamprobi and Bubuashi. So the third place is Salt Pond. The fourth place where I lived is a place called Airport Residential. And the last place is Dansonon, where I met my darling husband. So 5 places I'm going to repeat. First place, Mamprobi. Second place, Bubuashi. Third place, now I forgot myself, Salt Pond boarding school. The fourth place, Airport Residential. And the fifth place, Dansonon, where I met my husband. Yeah. So now the journey begins. Yes, I can sing at that home. I used to sing in the choir. I used to lead, that's a secret. Anyway, so I'm going to start with Mamprobi. And before I go and I don't forget, I won't be able to share with you the 18 years because it's a long time. And location 3, 4, 5. I've got very, very detailed events there that I just don't want to make it quick. I don't want to scram so much into one place, because I want us to see where God took me from to where I am today. So I'm going to take my time and now ask you to be patient with me. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. So anyway, so now we've arrived in Ghana. Guys, talk about culture shock. Now, remember, you're looking or you're listening to this through the eyes of a 9-year-old. I'm 9 years old. My brother is 8 and my sister is 4. And I know that you guys are brilliant. You're educated. You're sophisticated. But I just want to give you a definition of the word culture shock. And this is what the internet says. Culture shock. It is the feeling of disorientation by someone when they suddenly are subjected to an unfamiliar culture, way of life, or set of attitudes. I'll repeat that. Culture shock is defined as the feeling of disorientation when they have been suddenly subjected to an unfamiliar culture, way of life, or set of attitudes. Hello, Precious. Hello, Alinka. Hello, TY. Thank you for coming on board. Hello, Natural Beauty too. So this is where it begins. And let me refer to my notes because I don't want to miss anything. Now, when we arrived, I can't remember the journey from the airport to Mamprobi. It's amazing. I don't remember anything. But these are the things that welcomed us. First of all, I remember my mom telling somebody that I'm going to have to send my children to a boarding school. And at that time, as a 9-year-old, I've already told, in chapter 1, I've already told you I'm quiet. Things have happened. I'm growing more inward. Everything is in my head. I can't express myself. I'm scared. And she says, I hear over here saying she's going to send me to a boarding school. And I begin to scream in my head and I'm saying, no, please don't send me to a secondary school. No, please don't do that. I don't want to be by myself. No. So I remember that. And thank God it didn't happen. So that's number 1. Now, the real bit is the bathroom. The bathroom, people. The bathroom. I was going to have my bath and bathroom facilities. I find myself on one cement block, naked outside. My mom bathing me outside. What? Bathing me outside? In public? In the view of everybody else? OMG. Do you know what that does to somebody who's been born in the UK, who's lived a certain way of life? It was It was weird. It was horrible. It was shameful. But remember, I'm quiet. I can't talk. I can't tell my mom that, no, mom, please don't do that. I can't tell her that. Yikes. Yes, TY, yikes. So I'm naked out there on this cement block, and my mom is bathing me. It was so weird. It was so scary. What is this kind of life where you expose outside? And oh, did I tell you that this new home was, yes, chai, Elizabeth, this new place called home was what we called compound living. You know, back in Africa, we live in compound houses, single floor compound houses. Now, for those of you who were born in Africa and whatever, this is normal. You know, this is kind of normal to you. But for us who were born in the UK at that time, this is weird. This is backward, you know. And here I was, so scared. So that was that was an enormous shock to my system. I could not handle it, but I could not voice it out. I could not voice it out. So that was shock number one. Um, Ah, and as I said, at that time, I think we had, is it 5 or 6 different people living in this compound house? 5. So it wasn't that my mom had, you know, an apartment with within the compound house. No, oh no, it was a one room situation with 3 children. One room situation. Hello, Esther, new and zesty woman. Yes, so it's one room, one small room with everything crammed in there. So, hello, Adiola. So that was a lot for me. It was too much to handle. The second bit that was shocking was the brushing of the teeth. Now, I didn't do brushing of, you know, I didn't have the toothpaste, the luxury of the toothpaste and the toothbrush that we have in the UK, which is normal. I had this thing called a chewing stick or chewing sponge. You know, the chewing stick and the chewing, that became my toothbrush. Now, what does, you know, how does that appear? How does that, you know, how does that appeal to a 9-year-old born in the UK? Hello, beautiful Inkuro. Thank you for joining me live today. Hello, family. You know, the chewing stick or the chewing sponge. You know, the chewing sponge, I believe, is derived through the pulp of wood or a plant. This became my norm. But in the beginning, it was so foreign and so weird and so out there. I'm thinking, what in the world is going on in this place? This is Mamprobi I'm talking about. And then came the weird thing of the bazooka spitting. Do you know what bazooka spitting is? Are you aware, ladies, of, yes, the chewing stick? Do you remember the, yes, Adiola? And after the chewing stick is the bazooka, where you chew, then you do the, and then you have this long line of this spitting that comes out. And all this is like, this is weird to a 9-year-old, you know, coming from the UK. So that was also very foreign and very hard, you know, to take in. And then Elizabeth, you hated the sticks. And then the next bit was the perception, the perception. Now, at the time when we came to Ghana, which was the 80s, anybody that went to the UK was able to make their way to the UK or to come from the UK. It was a big thing. It was phenomenal. You almost had this celebrity statements. I mean, you were revered. You were almost like a god. You were somebody special. So I had that, you know, I was perceived as, you know, somebody's very special. But on the other hand, I was, you know, perceived not one of them. I wasn't perceived as black, even though I had black skin. No, I was not black to the people in Ghana. I was white. Now, remember, in the UK, the white people perceived me as a black monkey with a tail. So I don't know who I am. Now that, good afternoon, Pastor Lion. Thank you for joining me this afternoon. Thank you so much. Now, by this time, now in Ghana, the black people also are not embracing me as black. They are embracing me as white. And then what makes matters worse, they start laughing at my, my British accent. I'm British, and I speak British, and it was so foreign to them. Anytime they would hear me doing my, not doing, because I'm just being me. Anytime they would see me, they would hear me speaking, they would just burst into laughter. I mean, they just, and seem to enjoy this weird thing that was coming out of my lips. And do you know what that did to a 9-year-old? That made me feel so conscious of myself. And I used to talk this with my brother. We used to feel so different and so out of there. So here you are, you're not black, you're not white, so who am I? So can you see how gradually my mind is being messed up the more? I don't have an identity. Now, I'm able to say that I didn't have an identity, but at that time, I didn't know that was what was transpiring in my mindset. So I didn't have an identity, and I was a very quiet person. So that's to do with the language. So people, laughing, and then you have lots of young people chasing after you. They'll follow you everywhere because you are this phenomenal thing that came from the UK, that speaks in a different language and behaves in a different language. And who do I go back to? Who do I go back to? Who do I go back to? Who do I go talk? I can't even talk to my mom because I don't know her. The person that I know to be my mom is Miss Vera Christie. If you remember, as I said in chapter 1, she's my mother. I don't have a mother. And so it's a very, 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 very difficult, dark, intimidating time for me and my brothers. Another thing that was a culture shock was the cooking. What is this thing? What is this thing which today I know as a coal pot? You put charcoal in and you pour kerosene on top, and then you have this fan that you go until it sparks, and then you use it to cook. That was a weird phenomenon. I'm used to the cooker, the electric cooker, the gas cooker, the oven. That's how we do stuff in the UK. And we're cooking outside. Everybody's cooking outside. So you've got 5 tenants in a compound house, and everybody's cooking outside. Everybody's in their corner cooking, and so there's no privacy. I don't like that. Everything is out there, and there's so much noise, um, um, and the events that I'm sharing with you, there's no way that I'm degrading Ghana. Where I lived, where I found myself to live, that was what was then. Ghana is a very beautiful, beautiful country. It's rich with history and all that that's going on. I love Ghana. But at the time, that was not there was nothing beautiful about Ghana at that time. you know I remember that. I remember crying inside for my mother. Actually, I thought we were going to be in Ghana for a short time. I didn't know it was going to be home. I didn't know. I thought this was just going to be for a short time, and then I'm going to go back to my mommy, my real mommy, who is my white foster mother. That's what I thought. Little did I know. So we had the cooking, and then so you can imagine the different diets. Now I'm learning how to eat fufu. And I do remember my mom would say, this is what you do. You dig your hand into the pot, or the bowl, sorry, the bowl. You do your hands like this. You put it together like scissors. You pick it up, and then you put it in your mouth, and then you don't chew, you swallow. So just imagine that. New food, weird, strange. Pepper. Pepper. Did anybody warn me about chili pepper? Did anybody warn me? OMG. Okay, you cannot hear me. Sorry. Can anybody imagine the chili pepper that was going on? Chili pepper. Now, remember, Ghana is communal living. I love this about Ghana. Everybody looks after everybody. You're not afraid to leave your children out there. So your children are safe and you can go and eat anywhere. And I remember, because remember, we had celebrity status. So everybody wants us to be in their house. They want us to come to their house. And so I remember going to this house. These people were the Airways, and they were there, and they gave us food and we didn't know, and we began to eat this food. Oh dear. Oh, the hot pepper. Oh, the hot pepper. And up to date, I've got friends who know me from back then. They tease me because I remember I used to, after eating that food, I start crying. I want some more water. I want some more water. I want some more water. So I've got friends today who, when they see me, they tease me. Oh, I want some more water. I want some more water. I want some more water. You know, um, yeah. So that was the food was so different. One of the mysteries for me was the pounding of the fufu. There was this wooden thing, and you put this thing called cassava plantain into what do you call it, the how do you call the thing again? I forgot what it's called. The mortar and the pestle, and then you have a human being, pounding and pounding, and there's somebody, turning. Hello, Miles. Hello, Miles. There. How are you? How's mommy? And you're pounding this food, and the amount of labor that goes into just eating one small food, and so that became my way of life. Okay, so this is it. So I've been introduced to new way of living, the fufu, the banku, the kenki, the yam, and everything. These are all new things, and I really wanted to go home. Hello, Miles. Pardon me. I wanted to go back home. Yes, water, Paul. I want some more. No, not water. I want some more water. I want some more water. You know, um, Fufu, pounded yam. Yes, Chisandra. Yes. Fufu is pounded yam with cassava or plantain or both of them mixed together. So that became my reality. Um, and then yes, and banku as well. Yes. Oh yes. Thank you for reminding Elizabeth. The banku. They have this iron pot, this cast iron pot, and you have these two things that are hooked on the side. They're like those, excuse me to say, when a woman is about to have birth, you have this thing put on the left and that's right side of the pot, and a woman hangs her feet on the two sides of the thing and starts to what's the word, to do this thing, the making of the bankum. It's all a mystery. Yeah. So the next bit is language. The language. Even though the language that we Ghanaians speak is predominantly English, I was being introduced to Chi. Hello, Stella from Ghana. Thank you for joining me live here on my life story, chapter 2, Life in Ghana. So the language, I and my parents are Ashanti, so we speak Chi. So I'm being introduced to the language tree, but because I lived in Accra, we have the dialect, sorry, Gan, and there's also Ewe as well. Even though the Ewes don't live or come from Accra. There's another region where the Ewes predominantly live and come from, but people do speak Ewe in Accra. And there's also Hausa. So essentially there are 4 languages. So now and then there's the Fanti, which is a version of Tree. So I can speak Tree, I can speak Fanti, and I can speak Gas. I can speak 3 languages as a result of living in Ghana. Yeah, hi Noel. Thank you for coming on board this afternoon. Yeah, so there was the language barrier right now, and you're hearing all these things. As a matter of fact, in Mamprobi where I lived, the landlord with his family, they are Ga, so I picked up a lot from them. Now, living in compound accommodation was really, really, really tough. It's only years later I begun to understand some of the fears. It is saying Eyapa, Eyapa, Eyapa. I began to understand some of the fears that developed over the years, and which I am being healed from. I'm not totally healed, but I am much, much better. And so one of the fears that developed as a result of living in the first place, which is Mamprobi, I'm talking about, the first location, was the fear of being ejected. Now, my mom is a single mother. She's got 3 children from the UK that she's raising all by herself. And we didn't live in the best of place. I'm not going to lie to you. This is my life, my story, the real, the real. I'm not going to, no, 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 no. I'm not going to do you justice. And more, I'm not going to honor the king who has brought me this far if I water it down. So I didn't live in a good place. Yeah, so there were times that things were really, really tough for my mother. And the landlord will threat that if you don't pay your rent, I am going to throw you out. And as a child, hearing that all the time, you're scared. You don't develop attachment to where you live. Remember, I was my brother and we were pulled out of the UK and dropped into this new environment. So I already have issues to do with attachment, attaching myself to a place. And so when I would hear stuff like that, I'll be so scared within. And I didn't know by living through 5 locations that this thing had developed, a serious fear in my life, a serious fear to attach myself. I always had this fear that something's going to happen. I'm going to be thrown out. I'm going to be left on my own, because that's what I've known all through my life. So this was going on a lot. So that's to do with the accommodation. And so I've talked to you about compound house living, bathing outside. Oh, did I forget to tell you about the toilet facilities? Beautiful people. Did I tell you about the toilet facilities? When I was growing up, when I was in the UK, I knew the WC, the water closet. That's what I knew. But I'm introduced to this thing, this structure that is that's on the outside of the house, where it's built with cement, and there's a dugout hole inside there, and that's where you do your number 2. And I can't do that. That's disgusting. That's horrible. That's horrible. That's horrible. That to a 9-year-old and who's to a new cut. That's how, but that was the new thing I was introduced to. So the hole in the ground, and you can imagine the flies, the stench. Not nice at all. I wanted my mommy. I wanted my real white mommy. I wanted to go back home. Mommy, where are you? Why have you left me here? Why have you abandoned me here? Why have you done that? But yeah, so it was the toilet. I began to learn how to do, even number 1, you do it outside. There's no proper way or private way of doing it. So all these things were a mystery. They were horrible. They were, and then, talking of the toilet facilities, the shocker, the cultural shock was when the guy that will come and empty the number 2. I mean, I had never seen this before. And we have this group of people. We have this, if you see me looking, I'm looking at the clock. So we have this group of people called the Hausas, and no degrading to the Hausas. At that time, they were classified the lower group of people. So they tended to do that kind of job. They would come and pick up the poo, empty it into a bucket, carry it on their head, and go and empty it wherever. And I just could not believe my eyes that this was happening, you know. And I do remember those days when, there was a particular time that the guy, yes, Esther, what a shock for a young person. Yeah, this was all the shock that was, I was being hit on every side, everything around me was shock, and there was nothing to absorb or absorb all these shock. We tend to forget these things, and if I may quickly say before I forget, that if for any parent out there, if you're going to do something different for her, if you're going to take her to somewhere different, be hi Molly, be careful to tell them that daughter, I'm going to take you here, and this is what's going to happen. They may not fully understand what you're saying, but you be surprised, they can hear what you're saying. And if you check your life as a young person, there are a lot of stuff that you can remember that happened to you, but you may not know the details, and it does help emotionally, because I've been through a lot of emotional damage. Emotional damage is more serious than physical damage, so anyway, so that was it, to see number two, being carried on the head, and the stench that follows and all that. It was just too much. I wanted my mommy. I want my real mommy. I want to go back to my mommy, my white mommy, even though she was abusive and there was abuse going on, but this was just too much for me, and then the next bit was to do with the roads, the dusty roads. There was so much dust. I didn't understand why there was so much dust, but that was the norm. Me getting used to wearing what we call in Ghana chaliwate, um, uh, plastic and sandals, flip-flops, and having dirt all over your feet all the time. That became my reality. The dusty roads, the potholes, the manholes, the the dusty roads. That was something I had to learn, to live with. And then another shock was the weather. The weather. The heat was so unbearable. It was too much for me. I've lived in a very cold climate, all my life. And now, yes, yes, Elizabeth, that is a lot. It is a lot too. It is a lot too. I'm having to deal with the heat, the enormous, heat, for even, for adults that move from Africa, to the Africa. No, sorry, for those who then move from the UK to Africa, for adults, it's a lot. So not to talk of, for a young person, a young child, so having to deal, with the sweat and the stinging and the flies and the mosquitoes. Oh, did I tell you about the mosquitoes? You didn't want to see my legs during that time when we moved to Ghana. You know what? Mosquitoes, they're not stupid. They're very intelligent. They're highly intelligent. They know when juicy, fresh blood has come along. These mosquitoes chewed my legs so much that I had scars all over. All of us, we had scars so much. I'm amazed that, that I don't even have them today. Another day, but we had to deal with the mosquitoes. And even though my mom provided them, what do you call that thing, mosquito net, mosquito coil, yeah, the mosquito coil, that thing where you burn to get rid of the mosquito. She did her best as a mother. I love her to bits, but it didn't do. I had a lot of chewing of my legs, and that wasn't very pleasant for me. We people, we who are born in UK, we're not used to insects. Insects is a very yucky thing, for the children, but that was the norm. So you're dealing with the insects, you're dealing with the ants, you're dealing with all these creepy crawly things at the time. Yeah, so all these things, don't forget the main point. The main point is Chisandra says juicy African model. Yes, they're really, really smart. They know the difference between foreign blood and native blood. They can taste the difference. So I'm dealing with all this thing and I don't have anybody to talk to. I cannot communicate my fears. I cannot communicate the pressure that is going on within me. I'm crying inside. I'm crying a lot inside, and once again, I just want to stop here and say, to when you come across a child, a child that is quiet, please don't um don't don't be hard on the child and say, speak up, can't you talk, or open your mouth and talk, can't you do this and can't you do that, come on. You have no clue. You have no clue what is going on inside that child. In fact, one of the things I do remember my mom saying to me all the time, she would say, oh, this is my child, you are too quiet, please talk for me, please open your mouth and talk. Maybe kasa mami, kasa, kasa biwenu na kasa mami. That's tree. Mipa chow biwenu na kasa mami. She used to say that all the time, but my mouth was locked. My jaws were locked. I don't know you. I don't, I don't know you. I don't know you're my mom. And, even though my relationship with my mom is bounds better, but still I'm not as close as I am. I'm not as close to my mom. I don't have that close bonding with her. It's as if still there is something that separates the two of us, and it's something that I'm working on, and I'm trusting God. So anybody out there who is in that same situation, God is good. Yeah, God is good. And even with my mom, I noticed that even when I've gone out of my way to hug her, she she has she too, there's something that she doesn't feel 100% able to hug me back. And I don't know whether that is because of the culture she was brought up then, where you're not allowed to express your emotions, or is such something much deeper. So that's something, by the way. What else is there to talk about? Another thing was my siblings. Unfortunately, somewhere along the line, we get separated. Mom was not able to cope with us, so my brother and my sister are now sent to the village. God, I lose my brother and my sister, the people that understand me best and I can derive at least some comfort, are taken away from me, and they go and live with my mom's mom, my grandmother, in a place called Asinfosu, which is in the central region. Oh boy, not good. Not good. My sister is still recovering from being with my grandmother. God bless her. Boys are different, so they handle things differently. Handle things differently. But even to date, when I talk with my brother, we all still need healing. God has been healing. He has been faithful. I'm not gonna lie, but a lot happened. Now let me tell you this. So remember, I've shared bits of the culture show that has been going on in Mamprobi, in Accra, the first location. Now my two siblings are taken away from me and are sent to the village. It's bad enough where we're living. Now we're sent into a much more quote unquote primitive place where there's no water, there's no running water, there's no electricity, and where you have to go and buy kerosene, and you have to light these things, what are they called now, lamps, lanterns, for to see. So it's much more, it's going backwards now for my siblings, and this is where they're being brought up. Now things get tougher, because this is it. This is it. My mom comes from a blended family, so she's got stepsisters and stepbrothers, and because she was the blessed one to get married and come to the UK, which is, as I said to you, is like a big thing, celebrity statehood, she is hated. So when finally she comes back to Ghana and the children are also sent back and they're sent to the village, it's like hammer time. It's like revenge, you know. My siblings went through a lot of abuse. Now, not physical. I'm not talking about sexual abuse this time. I'm talking about mental abuse, cultural abuse, because of the jealousy and the rivalry that was going on between my mom and her half sisters, because that's where, my mother's relatives were. They some of them were also there. It was being now put on my siblings. You know, they were called names. My mother, they were called that you're useless mom, who she couldn't look after you, that you're useless mom who couldn't stay in a marriage, and then now is back in Ghana with us, and all sort of things happened to my siblings. It was really, 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 really bad, but I stayed with my mom. By the times I went to visit my grandmother, and you could literally feel the hatred that was coming from the other family. Even up to date, I don't. My grandmother died many years ago, and I don't go back, and I have no intention going back to my hometown. Yeah, my hometown. Yeah, which is called my mother's side, which is Asinfo. So now, remember, my dad is still in the UK. So this was going on, and things were just going downhill. Now, so let's go fast forward back to Mamprobi, where I am. So it's time for me to go to school, to get back into school. So I end up going to a school called Premier International School. I don't know whether there's anybody in Mamprobi, anybody out there who's watching from Ghana who remember. I don't know whether the school still exists, but it's a school called Premier International. And now another thing is happening. Another new thing is happening, people. Another new thing is happening. I'm introduced to the lashing and caning with this wooden stick, this thing that is soaked in water. That's how they do it back in Ghana. The cane is soaked in water over days so that it becomes heavier and inflicts more pain on the child. OMG. Did I experience that? Yes, particularly during mathematics. I'm not good mathematically. I'm a creative person. God designed me to be creative. I love designing. I love drawing. I even have, which I'll talk later, I have an upcoming business called Awakening Arts by Anastasia. Yes, I'll tell you more about much later on. So God wired me to be creative, and so I wasn't doing well with my maths, and we had to learn the times table. Yes, gift. Yes, we had to learn yeah, we had to learn the times table, and if you didn't get it right, what did you have to do? I don't know whether anybody remembers. What do? You stretch forth your hand, and that cane that has been soaked in waters over days is slashed over your hands. Ouch! Ouch, 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 ouch. And it comes down so heavily. You hear the wind, and it's on you. And not only that, sometimes it's on the buttocks, or the back. Yes, your hand, and that is normal. Is that called capital punishment? Maybe not, maybe not. Or your butt. Yes, Elizabeth, or your butt. And so I had to learn the times table. I was not good. I was struggling in school, people. I was struggling in school. I was struggling in school. I was I'm not in this new place. I don't like this new place. I don't like this new environment. I don't like this culture. I don't like it. And then on top of that, people, reading time. you know every school has subjects that you study, so reading is one of them. Now when it comes to reading time, the teacher deliberately chooses me because I have a British accent. And then when I begin to read, all the class bursts into laughter. They start laughing. Ha 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 ha. Everybody's laughing. And I'm feeling so embarrassed. I'm feeling so ashamed. I'm feeling so alone. I I don't know what to do with myself. And you see, now I'm growing more withdrawn. So I do believe I was born a quiet person, but the environment enforced the quietness and the intimidation, intimidation. So I became a very intimidated child. I did not talk at all. So this was, and at this time, these were forming all manner of mindsets in my mind. You're not good. You're not beautiful. You're dumb. You're this. So much negativity was forming. So mindsets are being formed right now, unbeknown to me, and so I did not perform very, very, very well, and I didn't handle very, very well. And my mom kind of wondered why why I didn't perform well. Oh, God bless her. you know yeah. So you had the caning that was going on, and then you had the laughter that was coming from the classroom. And then was the school fees. Oh, school fees. My mom's a single mom. She's trying the best that she can. And then I'm being sent home again and again for school fees. That is so embarrassing. So what transpired was that what hi Pearl, thank you for coming on board. Thank you. You joined me quite late. You're gonna have to watch the video. But yes, I'm here live on Facebook sharing my life story, chapter 2, life in Ghana. So yeah, so they tell go home and get the school fees. If you don't pay your school fees, then you're gonna have to stay. So there was that embarrassment. I mean, what else can you add to a child? What else? What is going to happen to that child? You tell me. What is going to happen to her mindset? What is going to happen to her? So I just want to stop here and say, the children that you're raising, remember last week I said to you that be careful of where you put your children. And I don't have anything against any mothers that take their children to nannies or childcare. No, that's not what I'm not about that. I wouldn't do that to you. I'm just asking you to think things through, because most of us, by the time we get to an adult, mindsets have already been formed. And it takes a long time to undo what has been done mentally. A lot of us carry issues, we carry baggages, and they didn't just happen. They happen from our childhood. Things happen in our lives. So particularly with the children, I just want to encourage you mothers that just be careful for where you send your children. Be careful, be careful, be careful. And talk to your children. If you have to send them to nanny or childcare, please talk to them. They're not dumb. They really can hear what you're saying. They may not understand. They can, things do go through. I mean, even scientifically, it's been proven that that children respond to their mother's voice. So we have today, because of, because of education right now, because of enlightenment, now we have mothers that sing to the babies in the womb, mothers that pray scriptures over their babies, babies that sing lullabies while the baby is in the vessel, sorry, is in the womb. So what I'm saying is not I'm not talking from my head. These are, if we want, we want our children to be the generals of tomorrow, then we want to think carefully of how we are molding our children. Our children of today are going through a lot. The pressures that are facing our children is unbelievable. Today the pressures. So at least we want their formative years to be as beautiful and as productive as possible. So that's just by the way. I'm a mother of two, from two boys, a 24 and a 21, and I was a stay-at mom for a long time. The reasons, because of what happened to me. And glory be to God, my children are no means perfect, but they are wonderful children. They turn out to be very wonderful, two lads. Yes, sorry. Anyway, so about to end this part of it, I forgot to tell you that because my story spans over 18 years, what I want to do is to do a chapter 2, part 1, part 2, and part 3. So part 1, part 2, and part 3. And I think, as I said before, that location 3, location 4, and location 5 are those where even more deeper, painful, the most painful stuff happens. And so I don't want to rush it. I do really want to take my time so that you can, journey with me and see where God has taken me from, and to the more confident woman that I am today. You see, I'm talking to you, the young girl that could not talk for a long time, the muted girl for a long time, is now talking to you live. How's that for celebration to Daddy God? How's that? How's that amazing to this God? Woohoo! How is that? How is that? How is that? So, beautiful people, I'm going to stop here. This is Mamprobi, location number 1. We will move to Bubwashi, and then Salt Pond will be chapter 2, part 2. Now you don't want to miss chapter 2, because now we are going into the valley. We're going into, how do you call it? The valley of the shadow of death. And that is where, here's where I unveil a lot of pain, a lot of sadness, a lot is too much. It's just too much, but it happened. So thank you so much. Thank you, Paul. Thank you for telling me. Paul says that your best days are ahead of you. Thank you so much. I just want to thank all of you for taking time out of your busy schedule today. I know that you may have given up shopping, cleaning, an assignment, or one thing or another to be with me, and I really appreciate you for joining me on this journey. The next broadcast is not going to be next week Saturday, because I'm going to HMT London with Queen Elizabeth. You hear that, Elizabeth? I can't wait to see you. I can't wait to see you, to hug you, to kiss you, to take pictures, to take selfies with you. So I'm going to History Makers London. I think, Elizabeth, you'll be kind maybe to post that advert, well, so that everybody else can see it, and for those who may be interested, in attending. Yes, Elizabeth. Yeah. So we post it out there so that other people can come and be part of this amazing transfer. Yeah, sorry, amazing conference that is going to be there. Yeah. So thank you so much, Elizabeth. Thank you, Esther. Thank you, Pastor Lyle. Thank you, Dee. Thank you, Paul. Thank you all for joining me live today. I will see you next 2 weeks, Saturday on the 3rd of December, where we go to locations 2 and 3. And by the way, location 3 is to do with my boarding school. So life in the boarding school. Yikes, yikes, yikes. I love you. Thank you. God richly bless every one of you. I hope you've been encouraged, guys, ladies. I hope you have. Mm, 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 mm. Bye.